Hi, I'm going to be doing a video just kind of walking you through um, what you need to do to kind of get if you want to download Adobe. Um, so let's just go into the syllabus, and then I'll kind of go over like the first thumbnail and idea section of project one. Um, so like right here, there's a link to the Adobe, and it'll take you to this site. Here's the discount for students and teachers, $20 a month. And I think you should be able to cancel your subscription once you're done. You can pay with PayPal too, which is kind of handy. And then once you download the Creative Cloud, you would launch it. So you'd have to go and click on your desktop, Command Shift A, which will open up your applications folder. And then I would say install on Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign. The rest of them I would just leave for now, but just make sure that you install Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign. And then once you have those launched, or you might have to go into your application folder to actually open them. But once you have them launched, you can do like a control click, options, like add to dock. It says remove from dock on mine because I already added them, and then they'll always be here, so you don't always have to go into your applications folder. So there's that. Once you get that up and running, I kind of did, for the sake of like just being quick, I did like a quick sketch of thumbnails here, which I didn't even really do, but I want you guys to actually take your time on your thumbnails. So you can see like my poster thumbnails are more portrait sized, because that's the size of a 11 by 17 poster, is a little bit more of a portrait shape. And then the banner size would need to be more of a landscape, and then I would fill these in, and I would make sure that you really are actually being relatively detail oriented with these. So like say, this is my headline, this is, this element will be like a train, this will be extra text, this will be a logo, this will be kind of this one graphic that I'm thinking of in my head. Or this idea is like, Gustav Klimt's, one of his ladies that he paints, because I'm doing Art Nouveau style in this, and, here's some writing around her head, and there's extra things. So make sure that you actually are doing a thorough job with your thumbnails. And for the sake to kind of save time on this demonstration, I've actually just gone to like my website, which isn't great. Kind of need to redo it probably, but I've kind of taken off a couple ideas off of here. Some of my illustrations that I already had, but I should have high resolution files on my folder, high resolution files on my computer at home, but I'm actually in my office right now, so I'm just going to use these. And I actually really liked this graphic from this Rock and Roll Auto poster I did a while ago. I was thinking about using this, this diamond shape here. And I'm going to do it in the contemporary style because honestly, it's the style I normally would work in, and just for demonstration's sake, it's going to kind of lend itself to my purpose. So anyway, so I've kind of brought those in, and I did my thumbnails. Let's see, and then my rough draft. So I picked a thumbnail that I liked, and then I did my rough draft, and this is actually like kind of detailed. So I would put this here, that little diamond shape from the poster, put a star where Haver is, and then I was thinking of adding this kind of decorative detail, either in black or white. I see my little note there. That might end up changing. And then maybe having like the bear paws kind of fill up this background with like maybe the mountain range would be like right here. And then like the graphic design at MSU Northern headline would be up here. And then study design out of the big sky was kind of an idea for a subhead. And then maybe like a picture of Cowan Hall down here if it looks good. Obviously a lot of this can end up changing, but this is like the basic idea. And then I was thinking either a graphic of a train coming, kind of curving around with the track maybe, or, and the engine could be here, or a steam engine train, maybe there's a public domain that I could use. Or a buffalo herd is what I was thinking, maybe clip out a buffalo herd on the horizon and kind of have that be like the last third of the composition. So I'm going to have to kind of gather those materials, making sure that everything is high enough resolution to show up as 300 dpi within InDesign, the program. And then, adding in extra info on the program and maybe a phone number, Facebook, Instagram, MSU Northern logo. And I can provide you with this information later on. I actually haven't come up with a Facebook or Instagram page for the graphic design program, but I'm planning on doing that. And it'd be good to kind of direct people towards that. So anyway, it'd be good to add that in on your rough draft for sure. And if you want to use, this headline and this subhead, go right ahead. But, if you want to come up with your own, that's great too. But, whatever you think you want to do. And obviously this more info stuff, I don't have that quite, this text quite figured out what I would have down here, but probably just a little bit more information on the program and how it's a 4-year degree or something, and how to check out the program, that kind of thing. So that's a really rough draft, but I think it does go over the design concept fairly decently. So I'm going to close out of those. So let's just say I have a high-res PDF, or if this wasn't a painting, I could, take a picture with my phone, email it to myself, and then download it that way. Just making sure that, sunlight's a great light to use when you take photos of work, as long as you don't have any shadows on your work. It's a great light, and phones these days have such good cameras that you really can get a decent photo of work with your phone. So just remember, you don't always have to use a scanner these days. So I'm going to open up Photoshop just to take a look at some of the files that I brought onto my desktop here from my website that I'm going to be using in my poster. And this is the main one, obviously, that I've decided to, I want this here. What's this? Sorry, this is a new Photoshop. I just downloaded this, so it's not configured the way I'm used to having it. But so, we don't have any Photoshop projects per se in this class, but we are using Photoshop to work with images. So I'm opening up every single photo or image that I'm going to be using in Photoshop, making sure that it's high enough resolution, making sure that it's, clipping elements out of certain images, and also making sure that it's in the right color mode. Those are the main things we're going to be using Photoshop for in this class. So I just made a copy by dragging my layer down onto this icon here. It's a little page, and then it'll make a copy, and then I kind of took the eyeball off of it because it's locked. This new one is not locked though. That's why I made a copy. And then my tools are right here. I'm going to make them bigger because I have a hard time seeing it the other way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clip this part out. And then I think I might have to clone stamp it to get rid of I'm just going to get rid of the text because this is for Rock and Roll Lotto, and these are Lotto balls. And I just want this to look like I don't want it to look like Lotto balls for this design. It just doesn't really translate to the graphic design program, the Lotto ball thing. But it will look like just like a generic circles if I get rid of those numbers in there. So we'll be using the clone stamp tool for that. And we'll be making a clipping mask. So to make a clipping mask, let's see. Well, let me start this up on the next video because I'm running out of time here. Okay, we'll see you in a minute.